raffle is up to about $540. There are 3 marbles left. So if you want a ticket, buy it now because we're going to close the raffle as soon as the meeting starts. So if you want to win $500+ get your tickets now. Thank you.
Test. Testing. Test. 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 A little bit more. Can I call it maybe? Is this good? Yeah. Is it better at this level? A little bit more? Okay, everyone, we're about to get ready to ring the bell. We have a lot to get to today. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Livermore. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for all you do for our community and our club. Dennis O'Brien, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Song service.
As you may or may not know, the music for the movie Mary Poppins was written by Richard and Robert Sherman, 2 brothers. Now, Julie Andrews loved all of the songs that they'd written, except for one, which was just too slow, not very catchy, and so on. Walt Disney says, guys, go back and write another one. And so they went in, came up with nothing. And so when Robert Sherman got home, his wife said, hey, the kids have been vaccinated at school for polio. He thought it was a shot. So he asked his son, Jeffrey, if it hurt. And Jeffrey said, no, they just put it on a sugar cube and I swallowed it. And with that, the song was born.
Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. In the most delightful way. Now a robin feathering his nest has very little time to rest while gathering his bits of twine and thread. In his pursuit, he has a merry tune to do. He knows the song will move the job along. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. The medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Delightful way. Just a spoon.
amazing songsters. Margaret, I think you're doing a lot for the day.
I am. So in order to stay with our theme today of Polio Plus, I tried to find a thought for the day that would go along with that theme, and I found a poem from Vignesh, who was a Singaporean student who became very concerned about polio vaccinations during the Gaza war. So I thought his poem would be very appropriate to share. It creeps in unseen, a silent thief, this killer of laughter that hushes playgrounds, thins hope, and leaves sighs. It bends the spine, grips your breath, a quiet harbinger of iron death. But wait, a needle's prick, a hero's plan, a tiny vial saved the span. Dreams reborn, the fight was won, darkness fading in the sun. But it was short-lived, for some things never truly die. The war's not won, it strikes anew. While the battles rage in the air, while bullets fly and regimes change, the children fall prey once again to the horrors of polio. It festers in shadows where aid cannot tread, where fear and mistrust leave warnings unsaid. The cycle returns, relentless, unkind, a scourge reborn in the cracks of mankind. Yet hope endures, through weary and worn, in each small vial, a future is born. The fight will go on, the cure will persist, until polio fades into the mist.
So, running frontline today, we have Linda Stanford, spur reporter, Ted Michaels. Thanks for all your work this week on all things AV, Ted. Photographer Trex Donovan, audiovisual Ted Michaels, Greater Gaud Benula. And we have even more frontliners. We have Sergeants Peck and Beck are back again, is that?
No.
No?
Just one.
Just one?
Just Peck.
Shoot.
Just a Peck.
When's Beck coming back?
He's playing hooky.
Oh, okay.
Sonia's back for now.
Web Maven, Kathy Coyle, public outreach, and she's outreaching today. I'll have a little bit more on that in a moment. Videographer, thank you, Tim. So Kelly Bowers wanted to send this message to our club today. October 25, 2025 is Unity Day. We come together in unity for common causes and service to our community. So that's what this is all about. And Kelly will try to take a photo of us right around 1:30, depending on the time she'll get here on time. And so all those who want to have a photo, I think we should just stand right out in front of the front doors of Robert Livermore Community Center, as we've done on other occasions. So next up, introduction of Student of the Month. Oh, I'm sorry, introduction of visiting Rotarians and guests.
Nigel, could you stand up?
Fellow Rotarians, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to introduce the president-elect of the Brentwood Rotary Club, Nigel Jessen. He is a global shipping manager
One of the owners.
and owner of a global shipping company. Everyone, Nigel.
Hi, Nigel.
But he's also our speaker, and he'll be introduced before it's off.
Okay.
Everybody will know my place.
I'll try to use my loudest voice to introduce Steve Van Dorn.
Wait, let her get up there.
Fellow Rotarians and guests, I'd like to introduce Steve Van Dorn. Pleasanton Chamber of Commerce President and CEO.
Retired.
Retired.
Yeah, 3 years, yeah.
And Steve has a brief announcement.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm also serve as your area governor for Zone 5. I have to work with Herb Ritter every day. That's quite a thing, so he keeps me going. But here, I just wanted to thank you for your support and also promote our Halloween Spirit Run that our club does, the Pleasanton Downtown Club, every year. It's our 32nd year, believe it or not. We have raised over $1 million in scholarships through that time for high school seniors and college students, as well as other projects that we do. So it's on October 26th, right in downtown Pleasanton. How many runners here? Walkers? All right. Hopefully you'll sign up. You go to pleasantonrotary.org. I'll leave some of these posters in the back if you would be kind enough to put them up in your window in your business. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you for your support, and I appreciate the time.
All right, thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Are there more?
Any other visiting Rotarians?
Yes.
Any guests of Rotarians? I guess that's it.
All right.
So introduction and welcome of our student of the month.
Right here.
Thank you, Bill.
Well, I am very honored, and it's a great pleasure to bring to you our Student of the Month today. And introducing our Student of the Month from Vineyard High School is Principal of Vineyard High School, Eric Taylor.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Eric Taylor. I'm the proud principal of Del Val and Vineyard Alternative Education here in Livermore. Today we're celebrating a student from Vineyard Alternative High School. Ronnie Andrews is her name. So we'll just clap first. I'm new to alternative ed this year, and so I trust a lot of my team. And so I asked them, we have a student of the month, and it was a resounding yes. It's Ronnie. And I said, okay, so it is Ronnie. But I have had the opportunity to meet and talk with her, and she's absolutely amazing. So let me get to the really important stuff here really quick. So it's my absolute pleasure to take a moment to recognize one of our outstanding students from Vineyard Independent Study School, Ronnie Andrews. Ronnie is a kind student who reminds us of what we do in education. With a solid 3.0 or 3.3 GPA, she has shown consistent dedication to her academics, but her successes go far beyond the number on her transcripts. Ronnie approaches every challenge with a positive attitude, and she carries herself with a quiet confidence that draws people in. One of the things that stands out most about Ronnie is her maturity. She communicates clearly, respectfully with both her peers and her adults, and that's a skill that we all know is not easy to master, especially in high school. She's an amazing listener, someone who truly hears you when you speak, and she has a natural ability to connect with others in a genuine and thoughtful way. Ronnie is also incredibly kind and encouraging. She's a student who wants to help others succeed, and she does so not for the recognition, but she truly cares. Her charm, friendliness, respect, and those around her have made her a valued member of our school community. She's a true leader in our school. Ronnie, we are so proud of the young woman that you are and the leader you've become. As you prepare to take your next step beyond Vineyard, we know that your character, integrity, compassion will carry you far. We can't wait to see where life takes you, and there is no doubt you will continue to make a positive impact wherever you go. So congratulations, Ronnie. And also joining us on the stage is her mother, Christine. So she's
Hello, I'm Ronnie. I definitely did not expect so many kind words from Mr. Taylor. I didn't even know that I was nominated for Student of the Month until, I want to say, last week.
Surprise!
And I'm just so honored to have won this again, having got it my freshman year as well. And I know that this is going to help me with so many things that I plan to do in my future career. I plan to become an attorney in law, and this is just really unexpected, and I'm just so grateful. And I definitely would not have gotten here without my mom, Christine, who tries to support me as best as she can. I know it's very difficult sometimes, but she does. And yes, thank you to the entire Rotary Club and to Mr. Taylor and the administration who had voted for me. So thank you all so much.
There you go. Ted, you're amazing. Way to go, Ted.
I think we have a number of announcements here. Mike Thompson, would you like to speak?
Well, you want to go to that one? Okay.
Thank you, Sheila. I'm very excited to tell you that our satellite club is a go. We have enough to start and many others to coming in. I had a meeting, first meeting last Thursday at my house with 4 people. Sheila was able to come too, which was helpful, and all 4 filled out applications. And then Saturday, and one of those came from Christine Lusty's recommendation. So that was good. And Saturday, I met at Omega Winery with the owner, Alexandra, and 2 of her people who help her there. And they were all recommended by Jessica Carroll at JNC Sellers, and all 3 of those filled out applications. So we're now, with 1s and 2s, well over the limit. And I just wanted to give you an instance of how this can work. I know each one of you should be able to give me one name. And if you don't want to talk to them, I'll be very happy to. Just give me the name and their phone number. But many years ago, we had a speaker on membership from the district. And I clearly remember it, and I used it yesterday in the gym. Looked around, this guy had a young man working near me, had a Maui t-shirt on, so I got in conversation about Maui. And then I asked the question that this district representative suggested: Are you in a service club? Now the answer can be either yes, no, or what's the service club? So if it's yes, you ask which club and congratulate them for being in service. And if it's the other 2, you say, have you heard of Rotary? And then you proceed to tell them a little about Rotary. Anyway, this young man happened to be Dimitri from, I think, Dimitri's Taverna, and JR has been working on him. And I think this new, not a survey, but this new satellite club might work for him. So just a quick example. So please, just think about it. I came up with over 30 names over a few days, just a few minutes here right now, prospects. So I know you can come up with one, okay? So please do that. Thank you.
Great, thanks, man. So there will be a celebration of life for Alan Frank on Friday, October 17th at 11 a.m. at the Bothwell Arts Center. think you all know the address for the Bothwell. And my thanks for everybody who signed up on the clipboard to put out the chairs and tables at the Bothwell. We're in good shape on that. Thanks for everyone who's done it. And our club secretary, Irv Stowers, depends on the return of old red badges. I know you've heard this before, but we're going to go through it. When members have been awarded new blue badges, the red badges have an insertable window that allows them to be recycled. So there you go.
We now have 2 leftover badges. I just got 1 more.
Good. We're making progress. Let's see, next up. Next week, program. Club grant presentations. And I think we're going to be in the Cresta Blanca room, if I understand.
Yes, sir.
So remember to be in the Cresta Blanca room when you arrive. Today's program, of course, Polio Plus, Michael Crosby. We'd like to have you, Michael, come up and...
That is not me. Bob Rogers, I don't know.
It's close.
Well, we're in for a bit of a treat today. Mike Crosby is an End Polio Now leader and coordinator. He, along with one other Rotarian, support 30 districts that cover about a third of the United States and part of Canada. The goal was to maintain focus on Rotary's top humanitarian goal, ending polio. I agree with this. My aunt had polio, and I worked with someone at the lab who was a victim of polio. He's a member of the Rotary Club of Brentwood, and he's a past president, Rotarian of the Year for his club, and past assistant district governor. He's a member, of course, of the Polio Plus Society, a major donor for the Paul Harris Society, and a Bequest Society member. His commitment to help end polio has been recognized. In 2022, he was selected by Rotary International as one of the 40 regional members worldwide who go above and beyond to help end polio. He and his wife, Marcia, traveled to a slum area of India where they vaccinated children for polio and other diseases. He and she later went to Uganda, where they delivered 265 wheelchairs to polio survivors and others in need. He's an Eagle Scout. He's a retired lieutenant colonel from the Air Force. He's just amazing. Mike, come on up.
This is really funny. That's Bob Rogers. I've been the regional leader for ending polio since 2023. He was in the job 3 years before me. And Ted, it's not your fault. I have no idea. Guys, I don't know how that got there. We've been having a little bit of fun with IT, shall we say? Joel. It was Joel.
Joel sent it to me.
Joel did. All right, Joel.
Yeah.
That's okay. Come on, kids. All right. You know, you had a speaker earlier, and by the way, I love that poem. I need to have a copy of that. Thank you. 1988 is a pretty big, significant year. We talked, the Pleasanton Rotary Club is talking about a run. I'm not going to ask anybody who's running a marathon in this room, but you know, it's 26 miles, right? And when you think about that, if you're in a marathon and you get closer and closer, you're saying, even if you're walking, you're saying, I can't do this. I can't do this. But as you get closer to the finish line, your body says, oh, I guess. People are cheering, the bands are playing. Well, guess what, fellow Rotarians? We have been running a marathon since 1988 in our goal to end polio. And we are, though, in a countdown to history. Now, many of us, well, in fact, with Joel and his exception about his family, for most of us, especially those younger, we really don't know what polio is. But think back a generation when children would go to school, and for many of those, we would come back and we didn't know what it was. They had polio, right? Because the reality is, since that date in 1988, polio remains our #1 humanitarian goal. And we're going to talk today about why is that important, and should we really care, right? Should we really care? We care because our gift as Rotarians is not only to the generation today, but to the generations in forward. From 1900 to 1980, 300 million people in the world died from smallpox. If you were under age 5, there's literally no chance you're going to live from smallpox. We could stop it. We stopped it. This is going to be our gift, Rotarians, when we end it. So let's get real about why we should care. We're going to talk about the numbers. We're going to talk about what the Gates Foundation is doing with Rotary. Happy to answer any questions at the end. Happy to stay as well. And it's really important that as you walk out today, you have a clear understanding of why in heck Rotary should still get involved. This is what's at risk. Money is tight. We are tired of giving money to polio. When I accepted this job at my district level, a past district governor said, you know, Mike, I only have 2 words for you. What's that? He said, good luck. People are tired of giving money to polio, and it's still there. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how truly close we are. The World Health Organization tells us if we stop today, even though polio remains endemic or in the world in only 2 countries, 10 years from now, we're going to have 200,000 people. Now, when my wife and I went to Nigeria and we went to the slums of Old Delhi, India, we went there and I put those drops in that mouth of that child. I didn't realize, it didn't dawn on me, that what I've done for that child is help that child save a life from affliction of polio. The parents, can you imagine if you get polio and you're age 5, that's one thing. But what happens when you become 140 pounds and you can't walk and somebody's got to carry you, right? Think about the impact of that medical system in that community that's probably typically already stressed. So that's what's at risk. That is our gift of Rotary. So let's stop with the logical question. I haven't shared with you yet where we stand today, and I will, but I want to have you understand and see an analysis of the impact and think of how similar that is to measles and to COVID. Think about the exposure.
Polio still exists. For decades, we've been tirelessly working to eradicate this virus, and we've come incredibly close. Take a look at this graphic. Since 1988, we've eliminated over 99% of cases, thanks to organizations like Rotary. Now, only 2 countries still have cases of wild polio. So why should we care when the numbers are so low and isolated? Polio, or poliomyelitis, is a highly infectious viral disease that can affect the brain and spinal cord, causing paralysis. Children under 5 are at the highest risk, but anyone who is unvaccinated remains vulnerable. In the 1980s, hundreds of thousands were paralyzed by polio. Today, only a small number are. But polio isn't just about these paralytic cases. Less than 1% of those infected with polio develop paralysis, yet all cases are contagious. This means the virus can silently circulate, potentially leading to an outbreak. To eradicate polio, we need to trap and monitor the virus through a process called surveillance.
We'll be talking about surveillance in just a little bit. So, let me take you back. 1955. Actually, in 1953, at the University of Pennsylvania, Jonas Salk's vaccine was approved by the federal government. It took 2 years to actually get it out there. But when it happened, if someone would go back into the Livermore newspapers back in the day, you would find the history of polio in Livermore and how we lined up outside schools with, at that point, we called it the jab, the shot. It wasn't until 1960 that we went to the sugar cube. Why did we do that? Because right over the hill, there's a place called the Cutter Labs in Berkeley. There's a mistake in the mix. 200,000 incorrect vials were given out with damaged or tainted. Not a fault of the lab, it was an issue with the mechanics. But there were several children who got polio because of the drops. That was enough to have the federal government say, whoop, stop. So then we went to this guy called Carl Sabin, because Carl Sabin had tested the polio vaccine orally for 1 million children in Russia. He had convinced them they could do that. So, a quick history about Rotary. It's 1979, and we decided that we should go out and help the world, because from 1930s to the 1960s, you may not realize this, Rotary said to Rotary clubs like yours, you cannot do anything outside your own area. For 30 years, Rotary said, no, you can't do that. 1979, they said, we're going to change that. They gave the money out to anyone who could help and do something in the world. The District of the Philippines said, we have an outbreak of 600,000 children in the Philippines, and we would like to be able to help end polio. And so we found the money, we went there, we vaccinated them, we patted ourselves on the shoulder, and we said, well, that was great. Didn't we do a great job? 1979. 3 years go by and we say, well, you know, we got a 100th anniversary of Rotary coming up in 2005. We should be able to get rid of polio by then. Let's maybe do that. So they studied it for 3 years. 1985 comes up. Those of us who have been in Rotary for a while, remember past Rotary International President Cliff Docterman. I'm sure he's been to your club and spoken. What a wonderful man. Well, Cliff was on the board, the trustees, and Rotary was trying to understand what can we do to end polio. So they brought Carl Sabin in. Now, remember Jonas Salk, Time Man of the Year, he was the guy who developed the shot. Now there is a quick definition. The jab protects you, your body. The drops protect you, and it can protect other people too, for a process we'll talk about. But it's not always as reliable, and it has some challenges. But anyway, Sabin comes in, and if I would bang on your table, but I will virtually have you think about Carl. I won't.
Don't bang on this table.
Carl Sabin comes in. He's an angry old man, and he comes in and he has his cane in his hand. And he bangs on the table and he says, "You Rotarians, if you think you can get rid of polio, good luck, because you got to raise $100 million." And now I'm going to pause a moment because I spoke to Cliff 1 year before he died, and he told me this is the true story, all right? He said, and besides that, you're just a bunch of old rich white guys that go to lunch. True story. Cliff sits there and he says, oh my God, we're going to try to end polio? Forget it. But we said we will, so we'll try. That's 1985. 1986 rolls around. Wow, we're so proud of ourselves. We raised $12 million. Very good. But Rotary doesn't give up on anything, do we? So 1988 rolls around, drum roll, international conference, $220 million. The balloons fall. It's amazing. We're so happy. We've got this money. We go at that point to the World Health Organization, and we say, hey, here we are. We'd like to help end polio in the world. And they went, yeah, right, okay, but you're just a bunch of old rich white guys. This is 1988. Women hadn't joined Rotary yet. You're just a bunch of old white guys, rich white guys that go to lunch. And they said, well, yeah, that's true, but we do have $220 million. And they said, come on in. And that's how the World Health Organization started working with Rotary. And that's how an organization we're going to introduce to you called the Global Polio Eradication Initiative. That's how that started as well. So, 1955, think about the world at that point when everything that you see here means polio is running wild in the world. Watch the progress. I'm not going to stop at 1988, but what happened in the world in the attempt to end polio. Look at that. So here we are. It's 2025 actually, but we are down to 2 countries in the world that have polio, and we will talk about them. So that's the progress we Rotary made starting in 1988. So if you don't think we've made a difference, guess again. All that money we've been giving, it's making a difference for the reasons we're going to talk about. And there's that number, so frightening. If we hadn't done it, we estimate that 20 million people in the world would either not be walking or would be dead. So, I promised an update. Joel and Ted and I have been working on this presentation. I want to wait till the very last minute to give you the current numbers and where we stand. These are the two countries where polio is wild. It runs rampant. Now, part of our challenge is because of these areas here and here. First, if you're following the news, there was just a conflict between Pakistan and Afghanistan. I'll share some more with you about them. But basically, both countries are doing their best, their very best to end polio. But there is the Taliban. There are people who don't want this to work. Why? Not because they do care about children, but they don't want it to work because that would be a success for the government. So there is a border. The border is 1,700 miles. We're going to look at that, a slide after this one, but I hate death by PowerPoint, okay? And this is an eye test, okay? So it's the only way I could find to tell you the following, okay? These little dots up here represent cases and how we're progressing as we go along. Down on the bottom, okay, I haven't talked to you at all about a thing called variant. Polio is polio. I want you to understand that polio, just as the woman said in the video where people can be exposed to polio, these are cases where someone has carried polio to another area where they've traveled. They weren't vaccinated. Even if they were, they could be carrying it. They go to an area where there's low vaccination rates and horrible water quality. That is a recipe for polio, unfortunately, just like measles as an example. Same problem. So this variant type 2, the world made a mistake about 7, 8 years ago. We thought there are 3 types of polio. We thought type 2 was gone, so we stopped vaccinating for it. Well, but it's still out there. It can be carried. So that variant that you see, look at those dots. Each dot's a child or a person that's had polio. Now, the organization, okay, that we helped fund in 1988, who are we? We are the heart and soul of ending polio. That is what we do. These other parts of the organization, I want to talk to you about 2 of these, the World Health Organization and UNICEF. Let me take you back not too long ago into the Gaza Strip, where it was over 100 degrees. We convinced, these organizations and Rotary, we convinced the 2 warring factions to stop the war. Think about this. These are families that are so afraid to go outside for fear of being bombed or killed, yet they're lining up to get vaccinated for polio. Why? Because an 8-month-old boy was discovered with polio who we believe came from Egypt, had never been vaccinated. We had 1 case, 1 child. And so we brought in and we vaccinated 95% of the children on the Gaza Strip. Wow, wow. In 100-degree temperature, because these drops have to be refrigerated. Think about the challenge that we did that. The commitment. The Gavi is an organization that says, okay, in Livermore, Gavi is not here because we know if we want a shot, we can get one, right? And we can get an immunization for something. But in the world, it's not always that case. So they help distribute everything that's out there in the world. And we're going to talk later on about the Gates Foundation. So this is what our challenge is right now. We are working on vaccinating 400 million children a year. 400 million. We're going to talk a little bit about how significant that number is. Because, by the way, the first set of drops, and we're doing the drops for a reason, it's easier to do than the gun. You don't have to be a nurse to be able to do that, or a medical person. But the first set of drops gives 70% protection, thank you. Second set, 80, 85, 90% with the third set. So we come around and we do the drops 3 times. All right. If there's time at the end, and I'll be happy to stay, I can go in more detail about why that number is lower at the top. Part of it is not only our own federal government reducing the contributions to the World Health Organization and others, but it's also other countries saying, you know, we'd really love to do this, but there are other things we have to spend our money on. I want to talk about this information. Look at that, the money, over a third of it just goes to find the children, to find them. It's not easy to be able to find someone when they're very migratory, when they move around. We have to keep records. But I'm going to tell you something. When we end polio, and we will, it will be because of the children, the women of the world. That's why. Why? Because these women who are usually between 20 and 35 years of age, may have family themselves, they have the ability to go into a home and talk to the mother, to influence them, to help them understand. We'll talk more about how challenging it is. This, sadly enough, is reality. I mentioned the Taliban, I mentioned other forces. There are people who don't want us to succeed. We have had guards who have been killed. We have women, these same volunteers, they also have been beaten and kicked and denied any sort of respect for the work that they're doing to save the children. Now, we're going to look about two things. I want you to give an appreciation for the children of the world and what we're doing.
You are directly connected to this little girl and this little boy and these scientists, these humanitarians and this doctor. Together, you are part of one of humanity's greatest achievements. Immunization. Over the last 50 years, essential vaccines have saved 6 lives a minute. That's 8,000 lives a day, every day for 5 decades. And we did it with you, because if you've been vaccinated, you're helping to keep others safe. But now, we need your help again. Because there are still children who don't have access to vaccines, we need urgent funding from world leaders to keep the vaccines coming. Because no child deserves to die of a disease we know how to prevent. Millions are here today through the power of immunization. Yes, this one, and this one too. We can reach millions more. It's time to show the world what's humanly possible.
I want you to go with me. We're going to go into a very remote part of a developing country. The roads are horrible, it's muddy, it's challenging, yet our goal is to find children. Now, I want you to take a hand, everyone, and if you would have, Mr. President, if you would help me, look at everyone, reach over, either hand, and touch an ear. Can you do that for me? I'm looking up. How are they looking? Looking good? Looking good? Okay, you can put your hand out. Congratulations, we know you were at least 5 years old. True story, because we may not have the records we need. If you're under 5, typically the human body, the head gets larger, the arm hasn't grown as much yet. Go, if you got any grandkids at home or great-grandkids, little children, have them reach over and touch. They won't be able to do it by and large, okay? So that's all very nice. How many children how many children of the world are under 5? Any guesses? Well, let's find out.
There's nearly 678,290,000 kids under 5 around the world. But what's so important about being 5? Well, children who live to age 5 are twice as likely to reach adulthood. That's why vaccines matter so much. For 40 years, Rotary and partners have delivered vaccines globally. Like here and even here, in your neighborhood and around the world, Rotary is ensuring children grow up safe from preventable diseases.
So that's the challenge we face. Keeping the record keeping is critical. So I'm going to move into something that even Joel and I were talking about. He said, you know, there's something we don't understand, and that's it. What's this plus and polio about? Why do we have plus and polio? It's not that simple, but let me try to share with you some of the things that we do. We go in developing communities and we're vaccinating. Typically, back in the day, someone would say, all you ever do is you want to vaccinate. Okay, so we come back with mosquito netting. We come with feminine products. We work with local clinics to help them improve their medical systems as much as we can. We do a lot of important things, and this one. The literacy rate in Pakistan among men is 58%, much less than women. The literacy rate in Afghanistan, based on a number we have from 10 years ago, is 39%. If you can't read, you have a problem. But, mine's over here, if you wanted to hold up your cell phone, you would be one of about 65% in the world that have a cell phone. Now, the good news is the cell phone can broadcast, good and bad, can broadcast information, as we know. But what we're doing now is we're going into homes and communities and we're using coloring books. In the story about ending polio. I want to introduce you to Muhammad. Muhammad is a goat farmer in Nigeria. He's got a problem. He was born with polio. Yet he raises goats for the milk and for the goats themselves. But he has to pay somebody to go get the food to feed them. Using a local district grant, he was given a handheld tricycle with a basket on the back. Now he can go to the market and get the food that he needs for his animals. That is one of the pluses in polio. The plus in polio covers so many more areas. That's just one. Vitamin A drops is a big one we do all the time. That's why when somebody says, what's that plus in polio? It's not just the drops. It's the other things that we're doing in the world. Because we have to go find polio where it is, no matter where it is. Now, this odd photograph is representative that something is happening every day in developing parts of the world. These two gentlemen are about ready to put a bucket into that lovely little stream there, haha, and they're going to test for whatever they find in there that's bad. We Rotarians are helping fund 146 detection laboratories in the world. That is so critical because if we can't find it, we can't treat it. Sao Paulo, Brazil World Soccer match. International airport, they find polio in the sewer system at the airport. They were able to treat it and stop it there. Now we know it's here in that area. You're getting a feeling it's not easy ending polio. Look at the reasons that we know of. And look at, as an example, Marin County, California has one of the worst vaccination rates of any part in the United States. Marin County. Let's take another one. Let's take the year of 2022, and we have a county in New York City. We have a 20-year-old man. He flies in from Pakistan. The world is mobile. He's never been vaccinated. He doesn't feel well. He goes to the doctor. He has polio. He went to a county where the vaccination rate is between 35 and 40%. The governor of New York declared a public health emergency, and we were able to stop any further spread of polio. But you can see how critical it is with all of these issues that we deal with it. Now, we tried, but I don't think this is going to fly. We know there's a great video. I want to tell you about this. Oh, come on, you can do it. Anyway, okay. Anyway, let me tell you about literacy and what the government of Pakistan is doing. I'm going to send your president this video because the government has developed 1-minute amazing videos that target the men of Pakistan. And the video will show you how critical it is to vaccinate because you should be responsible for your children's health. That is your job, parent. And don't deny someone when they come to the door. So that we have 4 of these videos. I was going to show you one. We won't watch it right now. But when you do get it, watch it, and I think you're going to be impressed. Back to Pakistan and Afghanistan. It's not easy. It's not pretty at all. This border was developed in 1878 between representatives of the British government working with Pakistan and tribes in Afghanistan. Even today, Afghanistan doesn't recognize that border. There are 8 checkpoints that we're there 7/24 vaccinating anybody that go back and forth. That's how serious we are about stopping polio in that area. Along with that, all these issues that you see on the SAG are horrible. They're horrible challenges. These countries don't like each other. Think about the challenge if you're the premier of Pakistan. Russia, the Soviet Union, comes in 1979, and they go into Afghanistan. The border was there, but it really wasn't fenced, as you see in the bottom. People immigrated into Pakistan. 2021, we leave. We leave collectively. More people come across the border. At that point, just about a year and a half ago, Pakistan said enough is enough. We know in our country there are 4 million people that don't belong here. They've come across the border into our country, and we know 1.7 million of those are undocumented. So Pakistan, the premier, we've been rounding these people up, including women, doesn't make any difference, and pushing them back into Afghanistan. Can you imagine being a woman in Afghanistan if you've been following the news? It is not good, it is not pretty. So, what can we do? A question was asked earlier, what's this relationship with the Gates Foundation, and what's going on, and why the heck should anybody be a part of the Polio Plus Society? Well, to begin with, every single dollar that you give to end polio counts equally to your Paul Harris Foundation recognition, dollar for dollar. So when you become a major donor, that $10,000 can have been helped by doing this. And in fact, if anybody wants to write a check for $1,000 right now to the Polio Plus Fund, you automatically will become a Paul Harris Fellow, because it counts 2 for 1. The 2 for 1 means, not to confuse you, but the Gates Foundation doubles every dollar you give to the Polio Plus Fund. The money comes in. We have a committee that looks at how to spend that money. This year we did once again hit our $50 million in Rotary, which triggered the $100 million that comes in from the Gates Foundation. So it really is critical that we do that. So it's a heck of a if some of you are financial, can you imagine any place where you could get the kind of return on your money and know what you're doing, that you're helping the children of the world? And let's applaud those members of your club who I understand right now, there are 24 proud members who are members of the Polio Plus Society. And congratulations. Thank you. And I was challenging the president, if you're inspired by what we're talking about today, you can become a member of the Polio Plus Society for as little as $10 a month. Put it on your credit card, use Rotary Direct, you'll never miss it, I guarantee it, and it will help. If for some way, and you're a great leader, and Joel, challenges on you too, buddy, if you can get 100% of your club to join the Polio Plus Society, we Rotary are going to give you this banner with your club name on the bottom at no cost. We want to make that happen. I want to come back over the hill and bring it to you, okay? So this is something very few of you know about, but I want to tell you how excited it is. Anybody have a pet? Some of you have pets. If you have a pet, raise your hand. Okay. Did you know your pet is eligible to be in the Polio Plus Society? The Kennel Club. Really? Let's take a look. Okay. Here we go.
Imagine a child struck by polio, unable to run, play, or even smile. Polio still threatens lives in just 2 countries, yet we're closer than ever to eradicating it forever. Rotary's End Polio Now mission has already saved over 20 million lives, but every unvaccinated child is a tragedy waiting to happen. If we stop now, polio could return, paralyzing hundreds of thousands more. You and your pet can make history together. Cross the finish line hand in paw to be the ones who wipe out polio. Join the Polio Plus Society or the Kennel Club with a $100 donation. Pets get a free End Polio Now red bandana and membership pin, a proud symbol of hope and action. This is our moment. Open your heart, take action, and help create a world where no child ever suffers from polio again. Donate today and end polio for good.
Oh, what about that? Now, that's innovation, right? It really is. We actually have a Rotarian who owns 3 alpacas. We had to get the scarves especially made for them. We have a horse that's joined recently. So it just doesn't, yeah, it doesn't, horse, come on, this is Livermore. Come on, somebody's got a few horses here. Or $10 a month, you know. We'll get you the scarves per horse. Well, but now here's the good news. You use your Rotary number, and that automatically counts towards your Paul Harris recognition.
And the horses as well?
You get the horse. Well, you can have actually, the dog that you saw in the beginning, Molly, is actually truly, from her owner, a major donor, $10,000. Awesome. That's how it started. That's how it started. So, you know, this was going to be, okay, good. That's right, you're going with me, good. So, now, we're almost done. I thank you for your time today. You're logical, and I'm happy to stay to answer any questions. This is Nigel Jepson, who is our club president-elect. Wanted him to come and meet you all. So happy to be with you today, and I also want to share with you, this is what we have to do. We have World Polio Day coming up. Come on. It's coming up. We know that, October 24th. Tell everybody about what you've heard from me today. There is a magazine, which we all get. This October issue of Polio magazine, open it up. Oh my gosh. There is so much of Rotary magazine, sorry. There's so much in here, okay, about what we're doing. It is truly amazing to what we're doing. So that is the date. Now there is one more video which we couldn't play, which I believe is going to come up. Let's try it, Ted. Yeah, please do. Sure. Okay. I want you to see this video. I will send it to you. Please send it out. For some reason, it won't play today, as you can see. But Bill is again saying to Rotary, thank you for everything that you're doing. And he says in himself, and by the way, they have continued this matching for the next 3 years at least. Okay, so it's not just ending. He is saying, we will end polio. I want you to believe with me the work that's being done out there, and we can't do it without every one of you. Okay, Ted? And with that, we're going to move beyond the video. There's that runner. Remind us all of what we're trying to do. Sure, we'll go to the last one. And the bottom line is, it's not about me. I'm a volunteer just like every one of you. No one in my family that I know has ever had polio, but it goes back thousands of years. I'm committed to do this like the many things that your club is doing to help the people of Livermore and the people of the world through the foundation. So with that, Mr. President, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for Gallagher, our TRF chair, has a little something magnificent for you.
Pleasure to honor you for coming to our club.
For World Unity Day.
Yes, and I got the orange one for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for presenting today, and I have a little something for you to take.
Okay. Oh, photo op. Okay.
President Pat, do we have time for a question or two?
I think we do.
Okay.
Kathy.
Okay.
Sure.
Mike, thank you so much. I know you visited our club before.
But never to give this talk, but
not
thank
in this
you.
role. So I want to thank you very much for that. And I wanted to, we touched on this before you did the meeting, about where does polio stand in the United States and vaccinations among all the controversy about vaccines?
It's a good answer, because you might say to yourself, why aren't we wearing the mask for COVID? Because we've hit herd immunity, or some of us don't believe it ever existed. Let's be fair, okay? All right, I want to be fair about that. But the bottom line is, we've developed immunity. In our country, we have immunity. So many people have been vaccinated, children in the very beginning. Our challenge at the federal level, and we're not religious and we're not political in Rotary, but let's tell you exactly what's going on. We have been working, we have a group of Rotarian past district governors, international, who have been walking the halls of Congress when they're there. And I know. And we know that there's 187 million out there. This is exactly I get the information, and trust me, it's correct, that right now we are working enough with Congress to know the money that we need to get polio going again is going to go into the State Department, and then the State Department is going to be able to direct the money correctly. The wonderful thing about the slide that I saw, they just met. That is, this group at Rotary that gives $50 million 3 times a year, the money we've talked about, they have just set up the money. 27 million of that is going into the World Health Organization. Of the 50 million, 27 million to go in and do the work that's necessary. So I'm I wasn't confident at all maybe 4 months ago. I'm feeling pretty good right now. That money is going to come back and we can continue to do the work that's necessary.
I think Brian has a question.
Brian.
Well, first of all, of course, the whole operation is about $1 billion a year. And the World Health Organization, UNICEF, CDC, are all under stress at the present time. But are we going to be able to continue at that sort of level? So that's the first question that I have.
The answer is yes. There's a short answer on that, yes.
And the second one was Polio Plus. Right at the beginning involved using vitamin A to get rid of blindness in the thing. And I think, if I remember correctly, about 2.5 million kids a year were blinded because of lack of vitamin A. And the point of that has been an incredibly successful addition to our polio.
And his point about vitamin A, we are giving vitamin A drops, and almost every time we are giving the drops in the field. We have it with them, we're doing it, we understand, and you are right, how critical it is that we do that. It's much more than just the polio drops. Question in the back?
I was wondering what has happened, what happened to the lives of the kids that were in iron lungs?
Well, we have a member in our own club who was in an iron lung for 4 months. The body has an amazing ability to repair the broken points. We also know that in some cases, if the real question is how do you develop the ability to breathe again, the body can restore that ability. You may not have heard of a thing called post-polio syndrome. That is the gift of polio that unfortunately continues to give. 50% of the people 20, 30, 40 years later can develop a reoccurrence of polio to the degree that, think about this, we've got nerves that connect and they break, they start, and they came together as our body fought against polio. Because not everybody will get polio severely. Some people, like Bob Rogers, the photograph, is a polio survivor. He walks with a limp. He's got a leg that's a little bit short. Our own district governor in our district, same thing, she's got polio. But the body can repair it, but even still, it can come back and continue to harm you. Our concern continues to be in the world, the people that are getting polio, what happens? We had a 4-month-old girl who got polio in Afghanistan, and she died because it attacked her lungs before anybody could get to her to help with the respiratory health. It's a long answer. Sorry. Sir.
Yeah, I have a quick question. What are the criteria for when a country is said to be finished with polio?
Oh, great. That is a key question. We have to go 2 years now without another case. And that the case that we're talking about is endemic. We know that variant. We're still fighting that because people are traveling in the world. But when Afghanistan the only number we will accept to end polio is 0. That is the only number. And we are going to get there. We're 33 cases right now. The 2 countries are serious about ending polio. I just spoke to people who were at the world meeting of everyone I think Saudi Arabia has pledged $500 million over the next 5 years to help fund this. Zero, folks, is the only answer, and that applies to those two countries unless it becomes endemic in another country.
So when it hits zero, say in Afghanistan, do you still continue to give the injections?
We do. We continue to vaccinate.
How long afterwards?
It's a difficult question to answer. It depends on the area.
Yeah.
And those are very difficult areas, those two countries, and to begin with, very mountainous. A lot of other issues going on. Pakistan had massive flooding 2 years ago. 10% of all their medical facilities were gone. So it's huge. Not an easy answer. Our plan takes us out to 2029, the overall plan. The overall goal is to stop the drops. The reason we want to stop the drops is because as a child, if you take the drops and it protects your body and you are in low vaccination area and horrible water quality, the residue from your feces can go into poor water and can morph into a polio virus anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks in temperate water, okay? In temperate water, it can remain alive. So that's the new drops we have. It's a new version of the drops. It's the opposite of that, much less, but still we want to go to the jab. That's the answer, is the jab. Okay.
As a very small token of our appreciation, we'd like to present you with this Rotary Guest Speaker mug, which we hope you'll enjoy at the breakfast table with coffee.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I think there are tickets to be. This is art. You probably have this same kind of thing with the tickets?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Okay. Do we have a number?
Okay, the winning marble, the person that picks the winning marble, and there are 3 marbles only, $592. And the winning ticket, the last 4 numbers is 9718.
9718.
Yeah. 9718.
We're going to take a Unity Day photo. We'll do it out front. If you don't have orange, I just raided my closet, and you can put it on. There's extra large, large, and in between, or you can hold it up. And I need some volunteers to be in the front row and hold up the U, the N, the I, the T, the Y to spell out Unity Day.
And
in front, yeah, in front of
before you go,
outside.
Next week's program, Club Grant presentations with Roland and Linda.
Clean your table.